William and Elizabeth, it's great to spend some time with you today. I really appreciate you coming in to visit with me about your financial planning needs. I've had an opportunity to sit and review the considerations that you gave me and have some recommendations for you that I'd like to review with you. Today in particular, I'd like to cover one area of your financial plan, and that is your mortgage. Let's talk a little bit about where you are. You mentioned to me that you have a 30-year fixed mortgage with an annual interest rate of 7.75%. You currently pay $1,725 a month, annually $20,700 on your principal and interest payments. And you currently have a balance on the loan that is roughly $225,000, of which you've been in that loan for about 6 years now, with a home value of roughly $275,000. Now, you've mentioned to me that your primary goal is to become mortgage debt-free by the time you're age 55, or in other words, 20 years from now. This is an incredibly worthy goal and something that I think we can help you accomplish based upon where you are at this time. Now, before I visit with you about some of the recommendations that I have for you, what I'd like to do is just review a couple of options were you to consider refinancing the loan at this time based on current interest rates, which are slightly less than what your overall interest rate is for your mortgage. There are two options that we could potentially consider in terms of refinancing, and one would be to refinance into another 30-year loan at 7.5% rate of interest. The other option would be to potentially look at a 15-year loan at a 7% rate of interest. The overall cost that would be involved in refinancing this loan would be roughly 3% of the principal balance, or about $6,750 based on a $225,000 mortgage. So if we were to consider refinancing at a 30-year fixed rate, that would result in giving you the ability to reduce your overall monthly payment to $1,573 or $18,876 annually, which would save you roughly $1,800, $1,824 a year in terms of principal and interest payments. That may seem attractive at first when you consider where you are. However, there are some disadvantages to considering this option. One of the major disadvantages would be that you would actually reset your loan to a new 30-year mortgage. And if we consider where you are at this point, that would add another 10 years on to your desire to be mortgage debt-free by age 55. If we leave your loan just as it is, you'll be done by age 59 in terms of paying it off. However, if we do the refinance, it'll take you all the way out to age 65, which is probably not the option that you're looking for. If we were to refinance to a 15-year loan at 7%, we can increase the additional savings because you'll have the ability to add an additional amount to principal and therefore pay off that principal amount a little bit sooner. So your monthly payment would go up to $2,022 and $24,264 annually, but you would be easily done within the 55 age time frame because you'll be done in 15 years, which would actually take you out to age 50. And that could be a considerable saving opportunity, particularly when you consider what you could do with that extra $24,000 a year, or in the case of what you're currently paying now, $20,700 a year in terms of investment opportunity. And we can talk about that option in just a moment. However, I think there's a couple of other options that are worth considering at this time that may make more appropriate sense. The option that makes probably some of the most sense financially would be to keep your current mortgage as is. You would allow yourself the opportunity to save on those closing costs, which would be present in any type of refinance, and use those closing costs to reinvest to allow you to save more for your retirement, for future planning. But also you have the ability and the flexibility, I think, with your current income to overfund your principal at this time. And if you were to overfund for 20 years just to get yourself to paying it off by age 55, there's no cost to doing this. You'd have the ability, by adding an additional amount, a couple $1,000s a year from your current mortgage, you'd have the ability to pay off your loan in 20 years. So we would take your monthly payment from $1,725 a month and just increase it to $1,847 a month, or $22,164 annually, which would give you the ability to pay that off in 20 years. If you wanted to pay it off in 15 years, I believe that you could do that as well. And that would be nearly identical to the 15-year refinance option, because that one would increase your monthly payment to $2,085 a month, or $25,000 annually. So in either of these cases, we're going to add somewhere close to a couple $1,000s a month to as much as $4,000 a month, $4,300 a month, but having the ability to vastly improve your situation in terms of getting out of the mortgage or becoming debt-free by age 55 or even age 50. If you consider what that option gives you for the future, that gives you the ability then to prepare for either retirement at age 67 by taking those proceeds over that 12-year period from age 55 to 67 and reinvesting those into a long-term asset allocation plan, potentially giving the ability to save an additional $22,164 a year, and over the course of 12 years with a 7% interest rate that we potentially could earn on those investments, that could net you almost $400,000 of assets by the time that you retire, which could be quite a bit of savings and giving the ability to achieve some of your goals. Now, I do want to visit with you very briefly about one option that you may consider, and this is a personal option to me, and it goes along with more of the values that I believe about becoming debt-free. You've been blessed with this opportunity to receive an inheritance, Elizabeth, and even though it came as difficult circumstances at the death of your parents, that $500,000 inheritance that you received could be quite a blessing to your family. One of the things that I've always felt strongly about is having the ability to become debt-free as soon as we possibly can. You could potentially take $225,000 of that inheritance and use it to pay off your mortgage. That would, yes, take up some of the free cash that you have that you'd be able to invest, but by doing that, you would end up saving yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest payments over the lifetime of your loan, of which we've have discussed or I have laid out in your financial plan. That may be something worth considering. And overall, as I consider all of the financial situation that you're in, is probably, in my opinion, the best option for you to achieve some peace of mind about your financial picture. Now, having said that, these options are, of course, up to you, and I see benefits and features and benefits and even advantages and disadvantages to all of them. But I believe that either one of these options, whether you increase and overfund your current principal and interest payments or using the inheritance to pay off your mortgage, both of them will be of benefit to you in the long run. Thank you.